The movie theater, a place that once stood as our only option when viewing any given movie within its first 6 months of existence. This day has now passed, and we all struggle with the battle of deciding what is worth seeing and what can wait 2 months when it can be picked up for $1 at Redbox or streamed online. Once that decision is made, we must then decide whether it will be seen in 3D IMAX, or just a plain old screening. That special occasion finally arose once more when The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug was released, and with such a monumentous occasion it could only be seen in none other than the exclusive 3D high frame rate edition that the director intended for it to be seen in. My name is Zachary Gillespie, and this is my review of The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug. In this review, I'm going to cover the three main criteria that either makes or breaks the movie for me. First off is the acting and the chosen actors for the film. Second is the visual quality. And third is the overall story. First off, we see yet again that the director Peter Jackson never fails to put an all-star cast together. With the additions of big names like Orlando Bloom and Benedict Cumberbatch to an already star-studded cast from the first movie, we find out quickly that they only enhance the detailed packed script. With all this in place, I felt like all of the characters had stories that played very well based on their importance to the movie, and was able to leave the theater without feeling as though I needed to fill gaps in the story that had been left out. Visually, this movie is stunning. I continue to be amazed by the technology first forged with the character of Gollum in The Lord of the Rings, and has now evolved into what has made the White Orc, who at times could almost be confused as an actor in makeup. With that said, its only flaws show when trying to tie computer-generated assets into live-action shots in a high frame-rate environment. The best way to describe it would be like a video game cutscene, but instead it has little to no motion blur, and it isn't hard to tell when the movie is in a generated world or full of handmade props. I did also really enjoy the dragon, Smaug, whose motions and appearances would make any fellow animator squeal with joy. Finally comes the story. When going into a movie after reading the story, I finally find that I am sometimes saddened by the exclusion of some key details that I really attached myself to. With The Hobbit, this never happens. Peter Jackson utilized all of the time he had and packed as much character building and epic fight sequences as possible into the film. But with this adding up to a 3-hour film, some may find it overbearing. If even just 10 minutes were removed from the movie, though, I feel like I would have missed out on something important, which may reflect on the reasons why I personally own the extended edition of the first trilogy. So there you have it, an overall enjoyable experience with some neat little perks. But is it for everyone? Sadly, I think not. If I were to go see it again today, I wouldn't mind seeing it in 3D, but the higher frame rate makes the movie less epic and more soap opera. If you are curious about what the high frame rate looks like, I definitely would recommend it for those with a little extra cash. But seeing this movie in any of the other formats, maybe 3D, IMAX, what have you, you will definitely get your money's worth. In conclusion, I give this movie a 9 out of 10. With a great story and awesome visuals, it's hard to take any points off. But with a 3-hour runtime, it becomes hard not to wander off in thought every now and then throughout the movie. We won't be sure until the end of the saga whether or not it can compare to The Lord of the Rings, but if they continue with this sort of quality, I don't see any reason why it can't be that much better. Thank you.